Welcome in, everyone. The war between Israel and Iran continues to hit new levels of destruction and devastation now after multiple days of intense combat between the two sides. The two sides have traded strikes against each other, and we are seeing something we have not seen in the Middle East for more than 20 years, going back to the United States invasion of Iraq. This war is huge. It is deadly. It is violent. It is brutal, and it is entering new stages seemingly by the hour. We are going to get into all of that and much more with the latest updates of what's going on, as well as new combat footage that has been released showing absolute destruction in Iran at multiple parts of the country. Before we get into all of that and more, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps boost the channel. Comment with your thoughts below on the war between Iran and Israel and what you want to see the United States do. That is also a huge, huge help to help spread the message, spread the news. Hit the bell so you never miss a video. You'll be able to know when every video is coming. You won't miss a single detail. And now let's get into the latest updates in the war between Iran and Israel. The latest developments we talked about on this channel was Iran unleashed barrage after barrage of ballistic missiles against Israel following Israel's unbelievable shock and awe opening phase of the war, hammering sites across Iran in what was described as a preemptive strike, but was really a surprise attack that the Iranians got caught with their pants down, and Israel just came in with a hammer and started destroying stuff. We knew Iran would strike back. We knew Iran would eventually gain some level of footing, and we saw that unfold on local time in America Friday afternoon into Friday night when the Iranians fired wave after wave of ballistic missile at targets in Israel. There was at least one confirmed Israeli death. There were dozens and dozens of injured. They were targeting, best described as civilian populations. They were also targeting IDF headquarters. They were targeting surface-to-air missile sites. Fortunately, most of the missiles were shot down by the U.S. and Israeli and other allied forces in the region, but some Iranian ballistic missiles did get through. That is just the fact of the matter. It is a numbers game. You send enough missiles through, you fire enough missiles, eventually the air defense systems will become overwhelmed. And there's also a theory among some military experts that Iran right now is trying to dry up Israel's interceptor batteries in stockpiles to then unleash even more missiles when they won't have the interceptors. But fortunately, so far, the air defenses have mostly held, but we have seen some death, some people seriously hurt, lots of damages, buildings taken out. It is mayhem. How did Israel respond? They responded with a renewed wave of strikes in Iran, hammering Tehran, hammering targets across the country in response to the ballistic missile strikes. It's quite frankly incredible. The IDF announced that they have total air supremacy over Tehran, which is incredibly important. We're going to get into that a little bit later and what it means. But right now, let's roll some footage from the latest strikes that Iran suffered at the hands of Israel. Israel came in strong. They came in fast after the ballistic missiles, continued to escalate the situation up the ladder. Iran hit them with missiles. Israel responded with another surge of attacks. Let's roll the footage right now. So right there, you saw Iran's latest waves of attacks across Iran, taking out missile batteries, buildings. 21 major important government and military leaders have since been killed in the attacks. It is a complete decapitation strike. The Iranians, while kind of gaining their footing and starting to be able to retaliate, they did retaliate and were able to fire off anti-aircraft rounds at the latest wave of Israeli planes, but honestly didn't do much. For as much shit as these guys talked for years and years about how powerful they were, when it came time to buck up and get a gun and do something, they got rocked. I mean, they ran their mouth for years and years about how strong they were, and Israel came and kicked their teeth in. But don't stop there, because the rhetoric continues from the Iranians as they get pummeled into the ground by the Israelis. I'm going to throw this up on the screen for you here. This is from Reuters. It says, Iran strikes against Israel will continue, with targets set to expand to include U.S. bases in the region in coming days, Iran's Fars news agency reported on Saturday, citing senior Iranian military officials. This confrontation will not end with last night's limited actions, and Iran strikes will continue, and this action will be very painful and regrettable for the aggressors, Fars reported, citing senior military officials. They were quoted saying that the war would spread in the coming days to all areas occupied by the Israeli regime and the American bases in the region. The threat of a wider war comes as Iran and Israel continue targeting each other, and on Saturday, after Israel launched its biggest ever air offensive against its longtime foe in a bid to prevent it from developing nuclear weapons. So yet again, the Iranians are doing all this tough talk, and I can't stress this enough. You know, I will come here and admit, I thought Iran would put up a better fight. Now, I did predict before the strikes happened, I said, hey, the negotiations have failed, strikes are coming. People thought I was crazy, but as soon as the evacuation order went out, it was very clear. And I thought Iran would be able to put up a better fight. I still thought Israel would win because they're backed by the United States. They have better technology. We can reach out and do things the Iranians can't. I was wrong. This has been borderline pathetic so far from the Iranians. Now, the ballistic missile barrage in and of itself was significant, but they lost air superiority over their country in 2 days. 2 days. That's what it took for the Israelis to get complete air domination. The Iranians are getting steamrolled. They're getting slammed into the dirt, and they're still talking tough. You're getting your asses kicked, dudes. This is not a fair fight. Israel struck first. They struck hard. Iran did strike back with a very significant and deadly ballistic missile attack. And Israel responded by gaining complete air superiority over the country, according to the IDF. This is a blowout. This is total domination. This is an ass kicking like if an NFL team played your local high school team. It is comical how one-sided this is so far. Now, does the Iranian threat still persist with their ballistic missiles? Absolutely. But if you don't have air control over your own country, there's nothing you can do about the fighter jets that are coming in. And that leads me to the biggest thing, and that is what role the United States might play. Let's get into that right now. The biggest target that remains in Iran, and the most important target that the Israelis cannot frankly take out, is the Fordo enrichment facility, which is deep under a mountain. And my guess is, my theory is, and feel free to come back in weeks or days if I'm wrong about this, now that the Israelis have complete air superiority, they're going to go and clean up as much of the stuff as they can on the ground. And once they've done that, due to the fact they lack the bombs and planes to take out Fordo, which is 100 to 150 meters underground, under a mountain, you will see the United States come in with B-2 stealth bombers, the GBU-57 30,000-pound bunker buster, and knowing that the Iranians no longer have any way to shoot down planes, which is, if not already the case, getting very close to being the case, you will see B-2 stealth bombers come in and flatten that facility, which then will forever be the end of Iran's nuclear program. It's, to me, that simple. They're going to let Israel do the heavy lifting here with American support, get everything they can get on the ground, exhaust their ability to fight against Iran, get everything they possibly can, and once the airspace is totally secure and Iran is totally crippled and neutered, they will bring in B-2 stealth bombers and take out the Fordo facility deep under a mountain, knowing that there's really no threat to the bombers at that point. That's my prediction. I could be wrong. We'll have to come back and see if I'm right or wrong. But I just do have to give credit to the Israelis. I have to give credit to the Israelis. I expected them to win. I did not expect it to go like this. This is a generational level ass kicking. It is quite honestly a little bit hilarious how weak Iran turned out to be when it was go time. Just completely caught by surprise. Their entire military leadership wiped out. Their scientists gone. This is, I don't care what you think about Iran or Israel. From a military standpoint, this is utter obliteration. And Iran talked a big game forever. And when it came time to actually go out there and do something, they got absolutely demolished. It's that simple. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the war between Iran and Israel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell so you don't miss a video. And as always, I'll catch you all next time with the latest updates.